What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great Sunday night. We're here. We're finishing off the weekend. Had a bunch of roster cuts. Been keeping you up to date on all of these social media platforms. But in case you missed anything, we're going to go through. We're going to talk about today's cuts. They weren't technically cut yet, but not at practice today. They're going to be cut. So we're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about the total amount of people that have been cut so far, and then I will show you the remaining players. I'll show you the offense, the defense, how many are at each. So let's get into this, baby. Appreciate each and every one of you taking the time, whether you're watching this live, watching this later. Love to hear your thoughts. Maybe you're surprised about some of these cuts. Let me know what's on your mind. But so far, we've got 20 cuts that have happened. And my 53-man roster is still going here, so no surprises for me here yet. But look, I'm sure that bad boy could be broken at any moment. And tomorrow they have practice as well. So today it was like closed off. They talked to some players. You know, they had Reddick was there in a limited capacity. So is Quez and Covey. So they're getting guys back here. So maybe some of those things I was saying about guys making the roster and going IR, they won't happen. So again, as I told you, highly doubt any of that will be right, but hey, look, we're still standing here. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on some of these guys that were let go. But let's get into that. Let's take a look at today's cuts. And again, they haven't officially happened yet, but they'll happen by tomorrow. Tuesday at 4 is when these things need to happen, but they weren't in practice today, so they are going to be let go. So here are 3 offensive players, and I just brought with the 3 graphics, all the graphics I was posting, throughout all the platforms here. So I just tossed them on here real quick. And, these guys all going to be let go here, and we knew that. There's nobody surprising here. Hazelwood didn't do much. Swain was brought in for that final preseason game because we needed somebody to help as a punt returner and, be wide receiver depth. So he got his chance. Maybe he'll, he shined enough for them to like him in the practice squad here. So we'll see. Hazelwood didn't do too much there, and Kennedy Brooks, maybe he ends up on the practice squad if Trey Sermon isn't here, but yeah, he didn't, he's not somebody that impresses me too much. Then on the defensive side of the ball, yesterday was all offense, and today, a few of them, but finally got rid of some defensive players here and all back end guys, nobody surprising here. And, you brought in a couple of linebackers, and Tyreek Maddox-Williams had that great interception there. And, you're talking about preseason where these guys were brought in for specifically that reason. And that's all of these guys here. And Quentin Bell, a little bit of a tweener, can play that edge rusher, off-ball linebacker. So, look, he may end up on the practice squad. Any of these guys could. And then you talk about the defensive tackles here in Olive Sagapolo, Caleb Sanders, Robert Cooper, and Marvin Wilson. And those bottom 3 were just added for that final game there. And no surprises here, And I like Cooper, Wilson, Sagapolo, Maddox-Williams. All these guys bring a little something. And we talked about it when we brought them in. But all practice squad hopeful for me. That's my opinion there. But now you see they're let go. So it will be their hope that they at least make the practice squad here with the Eagles. If not, maybe someone claims them. And if someone does claim any of these players, they have to go to their active roster. So we'll see how that happens. You don't always see guys getting claimed. We talked about this, Tanner McKee. Do you want to risk, waiving him and letting him go on that waiver wire where someone could claim him and you might not get him on your practice squad? So a lot to think about with these things, and that's why you're seeing the back end guys getting let go now. And, some people have commented, they're a little surprised by some of these moves, yesterday, especially today, not so much. I know there were a couple players people liked, but I felt, overall, there's nothing here that surprised me. So, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Maybe there's somebody you really liked, you thought should beat out someone. Let me know what's on your mind, whatever it may be. But China in the building. I appreciate you. That's awesome. Stalking the page all day. Let's go, you sickos. And that's what this is all about, and trying my best to keep up with everything. And at one point, Jeff McClain had posted, about these were the guys that were going to be cut. So I was like, son of a bitch. So I just created all the graphics and then tried to, disperse them at different times. But, put the linebackers together, D tackles, and just, but now you've got 20 total here. So I do these at the end just to, in case you haven't been able to keep up, but I love you, sickos. And that's what it's all about. You guys are awesome. Hope you've been enjoying. We're so effing close. 2 weeks away. Oh, my effing God. I cannot believe in 2 weeks we'll be talking. Oh, my God. We're going to be talking about Eagles football. The game will be over by now. Like, let's go. We'll be 1-0. So I'm pumped up. Man, Twisted in here. Let's effing go. Appreciate you all tuning in here. Sean, my dude. And I apologize. I don't know why this internet just sucks. I got some things done today, jacked my neck up. I'm really just beating the hell out of myself lately. So just really happy to sit down and talk about some birds, trying to get things done this weekend. This ankle is really, really throwing me off. But this Eagles team has got me so pumped up. Nothing's going to stop me. So, yeah, Sagapulo's got some size there, so maybe he will. We'll see, my man, but appreciate you tuning in. Go see my dude. Let's go. Appreciate all of you guys taking the time here. But appreciate you, my man. And what's up? McPherson seemed to ruin that defensive plan. Don't know what you mean there. Zach McPherson, if you mean him going on IR, yeah, you never want to lose a player. That is unfortunate. But let's take a gander here now at these total cuts. 9 today that were let go, 11 yesterday. One of those guys placed on IR, but that's season ending. So 20 players total here. Let's take a look at them separated here, offense and defense. But you can see, as I had mentioned, a plethora here, 14 offensive guys, and you've got 6 defensive guys here that have been let go. So Roderick will actually still be here, but again, season-ending IR. If you get placed on the IR right now, your season's done. If you want to go on the short IR, you have to be on this active roster when the cutdowns occur. Then they can place you on IR. We've talked about that. You could see a veteran cut. Then, someone gets placed on the IR that was on the 53, and that other guy gets signed back. So keep that stuff in mind. And look, we talked about, all these guys pretty much. But if you have anything you feel a certain way about someone, you see, a few offensive linemen that were on the back end, that none of that surprised me. Running back, the wide receivers, tight end, all those guys back ends. So, yeah, again, no surprises. But you see all 20 of those guys here listed, and I will continue to keep you up to date because, with 20 gone now, I think, obviously there's only 17 left, but we'll see how they exactly, want to do this. Again, they have practice tomorrow, so maybe right off the bat, no one's there, like a certain amount of people, and you got to, clearly just add 1 and 1 there, and they won't be part of the team. But maybe some guys, they're going to hold up till Tuesday at 4:00. So I will keep you up to date. So tomorrow night we'll track whatever happened after practice. Maybe there's still a couple left. Maybe all of it happens. Maybe the trade happens. Some kind of things go down. We'll see. But look, I'm going to keep you up to date. And right now I'm about to show you, who's left at each position so you can get a feel for, what's going on here. And look, my 53 could definitely be off. I'd love to hear who you guys think is getting cut next. But get some good rest. Yeah, man, I'm pissed. I am. I can barely move my head. I'm not very happy about it. But I just continue beating my ass. So it is what it is. But 17 are left here. So you've got 70 players. You need to be to 53. But 16 guys can go onto the practice squad. We'll see. Again, we could probably add people from other teams, claim some of these other guys, add them to our active roster, cut this. Once the 53 is set on Tuesday, I'll be back on Wednesday because we'll be changing all kinds of stuff. And then Thursday and then Friday. And I'm sure all kinds of things are going to move around. So just keep tuning in, you sickos, because we'll get through this. We'll have our roster set for week 1 and you'll know. And don't worry, the week leading up to it, you'll have it just like last year. Well, I will break everything down about the Patriots. And, for the first few weeks, we talk about what these teams have done in the offseason because you don't really have a feel for what they've done in the season so far because they haven't played. So you guys that have been tuning in, you know how it goes, but we'll talk about everything to get to know the Patriots. You'll see their depth chart, their injuries, everything throughout the week. So when the game's beginning, what's going on, what players we have, who's starting where. So you'll know everything. What I do is each week I'll go find the best reporter for each team and I follow what's going on with them. I try to learn as much as I can and I try to feed that to you guys so you know what's going on here. But yeah, he's definitely getting cut. But yeah, he better hope he can make practice squad. He's got guys like Dan Arnold and Tyree Jackson here. Tyree, he's somebody that they like. So we'll see. Forte, my man, appreciate you. But let's get into this. Take a gander here at these remaining players, and you'll see at each position. So just threw the names in. I do have that like picture thing that I will show you once it gets a little more clear, because I'm just like deleting stuff left and right. So I got to make it look a lot nicer for you. So don't worry, tomorrow we'll have that. But right now, let's take a look here. We'll start her off with the offense here. And, you know, again, this is going to be fun to see if they keep Tanner McKee as that third quarterback. And I had misspoke when I first, was talking about that practice squad. I was too busy making fun of the 49ers. And what it really is the third quarterback rule is that guy has to be on your active roster. The only thing is, when the game day actives, how there's 6 guys that don't dress. So you would essentially not count the quarterback. So whatever. But I still don't know if it's important. The Eagles run with 2 quarterbacks. I'm not sure that they keep them. I know a lot of people feel that a certain way, but we'll find out. I don't think Sermon, these are all just in alphabetical order, so no specific order there. But other than that, so don't think that it's my best player, because Devin Allen's definitely not the best receiver. So Kenny Gainwell, Penny, Scott, Sermon, Swift. Again, I think Sermon's gone here. I don't think Scott's gone. I think we keep 4 here. Wide receiver, I've talked about it. I think we could ride with 4. You don't have to keep Covey, but I've also talked about if he's still banged up, maybe stash him on the short-term IR and, give someone else a chance here, bring back a vested vet, whatever you want to do with that open spot. But he could be that 5th receiver if that's the case there. But to me, none of these other guys, no Ward or Devin Allen is, going to stick out to me there. But we'll see who wants to make it here. Then you've got guys like, and actually I think there is an 8th one. I think Nada's still here, but he's going to be gone. And then you've got tight end here, Calcaterra, Goddard, Russell, Stoll. As I've said, I think the 3 are going to be Goddard, Calcaterra, and Stoll. Russell going to get cut here, I'm sure, but hey, you need another guy for practice, so that's why you still see some of these backups still here. And then the offensive line, I had 9 guys, so I think for me, we all know who's going to make this squad, but just giving you an idea of who is left there. And then on the defensive side of the ball here, you've got very deep positions and a lot of question marks at certain positions. And to me, the corners, the promise of some of those young guys, it's going to be hard to let go of them. And I think that Ricks, Job, Ricks and Garner, I think with Goodrich, it's going to be hard to let the guys go, because Goodrich, he provides that depth with Zach McPherson out. And, Ricks and Garner can also do the versatile pieces that you can try out, but they're still very young. I just don't know that, you want to test the waiver wire. We'll see. Maybe somebody does want to claim them. They like what they saw there, and they all did pretty well. But I think it's clear the trio, the best in the league, Bradbury, Slay, and Maddox, they're making the squad. But behind them, Job. And to me, Job and Ringo are locks. But who wants to be that 6th, maybe 7th, maybe 8th, maybe you stash one of them on IR? A lot of question marks there at safety. Who wants to be the starter? I think obviously Blankenship and Brown are the future, but maybe a vet starts next to Blankenship to start the year. I still think there's enough for 3 safety sets where Brown will be playing regardless. But Edmonds, I think, is that 3rd guy. Now, who will be the 4th? And I've mentioned maybe you'll only keep 3 for the initial cut down, and you bring back someone like Evans after you play someone on IR. So, and the same could be said for a lot of these guys, and the same you could say for that position at linebacker. Maybe you let Morrow or Cunningham, you cut them, and then a day later, you're bringing them back. So don't get scared if a vested vet, like one of those guys I mentioned, gets cut, because they could be back after someone gets placed on IR. But you can see here, I think it's getting pretty clear. You've got on defense here, Carter, Davis, Cox, and I've mentioned this, for this position too. Maybe Street gets cut at first, but if, an IR move happens, you could bring him right back. But that's a lot of talent right there, man. Edge rusher, another one that's stacked, dude. And I really think it's going to be tough, pushing it. But, hey, you don't know. A lot of times these guys don't get clean. So you got to do what you got to do. And edge rusher is deep as hell. So you saw 31 on offense that are remaining. You see 36 on defense. So 6, 7, 4. And then, of course, the remaining 3 to me are your specialists here. So Elliott, Sippos and Lovato here. And yeah, we just, I guess, are riding with Aaron Sippos. So I suppose we'll find out how that goes. But ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got for you. That's all that happened. That's all who is left. And whenever these cuts are made, I will keep you up to date on each platform. You can follow me. I will always let you know what's going on. And then I'll have a little recap every day just to touch on what's going on. And of course, Tuesday, we'll talk about who the 53-man roster is, who I think is going on IR, what moves are going to be made after that. So we'll continue to do that. Al, that hurt like hell. Ricks, we talked about him, Garner, Goodrich. I think all very good players. That's going to be tough to try to cut. So we shall see. Jonathan Taylor, yeah. No, thank you. And we all know how he's not going to trade for running back and pay him when we especially have such a great running back room right now with Kenny Gainwell, DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny, Boston Scott. I love them. I think everybody's sleeping on this room, and they're going to be top 3 in total yardage. I think they're going to be fantastic in the passing game. You got a bruiser. You got a jack of all trades. So I'm very, very excited about that room. And those guys are all good. But, with him getting hurt, that opened the door. And who are you going to risk? Who do you really like the most? And Goodrich provides, more experience at the NFL level at nickel. So maybe he has the edge there, but Ricks and Garner both looked really good. So going to be a tough decision for Nick Sirianni and the guys. And look, I'm hopeful that, some of these guys do not, get claimed by someone if they do. So we'll see. But hey, man, go check out that video, Stevie. And I understand it. I'd love to have an all-pro at every position, but unfortunately, the cap exists, and you have to understand all of it. So what I do is break that kind of stuff down. I believe it was about over a month ago now, but you go back to my live videos. You can go under Show Me the Money. That is a playlist on my YouTube, but that will show you. Look for the Jonathan Taylor. He's right there with Howie Roseman. You can't miss it, but it's got all of his contract information, all of the stuff you would need to know if, you're wondering why the Eagles wouldn't do that when, we've got cap space, we've got draft picks, but you always have to be looking into the future. You always have to understand how he sees things and why I talk about this team is building a dynasty, why we're winning the Super Bowl this year and we're going to continue to win for the next 10 years, 15 years, because this team is going to dominate the NFL. And I'm assuring you that because I've been breaking it down for the last couple while I've been saying this. I told you last year we're going to the Super Bowl. We did. This year, I'm telling you, we're winning the Super Bowl. We have been laying the pieces. Howie Roseman knows how to build a team. He's been drafting well. After that little couple misfires there, been phenomenal the past few years. So the trades, the free agency, everything that's been happening here, it's just fantastic here. So we got to just, stay healthy. We got to just keep doing what we're doing, getting better every day. I'm all about it. So love it. You guys are too kind. I love you all. But again, that's all I've got for you. You're too funny. And you're seriously way too kind. And I love you all. But we'll see, man. This is going to be tough to see what this team keeps here. But, with a great room like we have all across the board, there's going to be some cuts that, it's like, why was this guy let go? But, hey, it's just part of the business. It is what it is. But if you're watching this later, you got anything on your mind, feel free to let me know. If you're watching this right now and you want to continue talking, I got to finish some things up here, try to walk around with this damn neck. But you guys, you're awesome. If you want to continue talking birds, you can always comment down below. Whenever I see it, I'll get back to you. But until next time, which is tomorrow, we'll be recapping it all after practice. I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On Road to Victory. I hope you all had yourselves a great weekend. Hope you're having a great night. But stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!